through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love.
To Shamrock Park on Matchday Live here as Portadown face Larne in the NFL Premier League. My name is Mark Beattie.
My name's Johnny Dunlop. As Mark says, welcome along to this evening's Matchday Live. We are here ahead of tonight's Danske Bank Premiership game against Larne. A game that, as always, is live to stream on 247.tv at a price at £7. So if you want to get on there, now give yourself a bit of time, get yourself set up and buy the stream for this evening's game.
Yeah, also, if you can, take this wee moment and go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's totally free. You can decide to unsubscribe later on. Hopefully you don't. There's a wee button just below this video. If you hit subscribe to our channel, you'll get notifications of all our latest content, the match day highlights, the manager and player interviews, and all the rest of the stuff we do during the week. So give us a wee subscribe, and we'll be greatly appreciative of that. A few changes to both teams tonight. We'll have the team lineups here coming up very shortly. Do you want to talk about the Portadown team, Johnny?
Yeah. As we said, there's a few changes from the Portadown 11 from Saturday's defeat to Glentoran. Jacob Kearney returns following injury, so he replaces Gareth Buchanan there. Ben Tilney obviously misses out as he is on loan to the club from Larne, and Ben Guy drops out as Oisin Connolly starts.
Yeah.
3 changes there, obviously from Saturday, as we say. Also, Adam McCallum, who didn't play on Saturday afternoon, he dropped out in the warm-up. He obviously isn't figuring tonight either. Paul Finnegan comes in. Oisin Connolly is also into the team for this evening's game.
For the visitors, Larne, there's only one change to their weekend defeat of Carrick Rangers, as I had it written down, I can't find it. Graham Kelly comes out and is replaced by Dean Jarvis, so pretty similar lineup for the visitors tonight. So listen, we'll take a quick short break here. We've got Portadown manager Matthew Tipton on the way to chat to us just briefly before the match starts. So stay with us for a few minutes and we'll be back with you.
Alright, Matthew, thanks for joining us here before this evening's game. We went through the team there just before you joined us. 3 changes from Saturday's defeat to Glentoran. Jacob Kearney returns. Paul Finnegan and Oisin Connolly start with Ben Guy, Ben Tilney and Gareth Buchanan dropping out.
Yeah, obviously Ben Tilney can't play in terms of his agreement loan with Larne. Jacob had a dead leg Saturday, and whilst we felt Gareth done reasonably well, we wanted to get Jacob back in the starting lineup, and Oisin Connolly obviously was away with the international squad, so he missed a couple of games through that, and he's back. But I thought he came on Saturday and was a handful. And we've liked everything we've seen with Oisin this year, and maybe we feel now's the time to give him a run of games towards the end of the season. So, Paul being back's a positive, but on the positive you always have a negative because we've lost. Obviously Adam had to pull out right before kick-off on Saturday, so disappointing for Adam, but look, he's been basically strapped together for the last month as our only recognised centre half. Now Paul's back, and Barney obviously went in there Saturday and done really well, and we've moved Greg over to left back. I think everybody knows Greg's reliable. Whatever you ask him to do, he'll do a good job, and today we've asked him to go out now with Martin Donnelly coming inside off his left foot. We think it might combat that a little bit. Well, we hope that's what's going to happen, and the rest of the lineup obviously as is, where I thought in Lee and Adam on Saturday were a handful whilst we were beating 4-0. I thought they'd give the 2 centre-halves a tough game all day.
You talk about Saturday's game, we were talking about it there before. When you look back at the highlights, we didn't do much wrong. Glentoran scored two wonder goals, 2 goal of the season contenders, but being at the game, I thought we defended resolutely and had great passages of play in the forward line and got ourselves into some great positions.
Like, people think, it's strange, why would I be pleased? Like, I wasn't pleased because we got beat, but what I thought we were combative all over the pitch. We restricted them, and we made a slight mistake, I suppose, in Ben Tilney played in the ball and it got intercepted by Rory Donnelly, who then stuck it in. I suppose that was why I think Mick came out after the game and said that's the form that got him a £250,000 move to Swansea in the Premier League. Sometimes you've just got to stay. And then I felt we came out in the second half and Bucky made a couple of decent saves, but I felt we were always in the game, and the second goal obviously killed us off a little bit. But we're still, I don't know how long was to go, but I decided to stick a third forward on and try and chase the game a little bit. Look, no point sitting there wondering, going home at night going, well, it was 2-0, we didn't lay a glove on them. And then, as it turned out, the better we got going that way, we were getting caught, and they overloaded in wide areas then and obviously scored the third and then the fourth, which was disappointing from our point of view. But I said to the boys there was plenty of positive because they showed they could stick to a shape, an organisation that we'll need again tonight because Larne are good. They'll have the similar movement of what Glentoran had the other day, but today's different. We're at home. I've asked the boys, let us go and show our expression. I think the last couple of weeks we've shown against Linfield and Crusaders here we can compete with teams and we can be organised, but sometimes I want us to go and show that we can play as well, because we can. I don't want to just be clinging on in games and maybe nicking something. I want us actually to go and express ourselves as we did last Tuesday night against Crusaders here for 75 minutes. Thought we were really good, and with a little bit of luck we do the same again tonight, I fancy, just to get a result.
I suppose as we're getting to the later stage of the season and the games coming thick and fast as they have all season, it's sort of your job at the moment. You're managing players, managing injuries. We were talking there about Adam McCallum, who's been excellent since he come in at the start of the season for Paddy. He won the club's Player of the Month for this season, or for the month just past in March. It's been a blow, as you say. I don't remember a club have been decimated by injuries in one position in the defensive unit as Portadown this season. I'm a Liverpool supporter and seeing us struggling without Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk, but with the Liverpool or with the Portadown defence, it's all over the show. We're picking up injuries and stuff, but
it's just the way it is, and it's just it's luck and different things. And look, we understand it's difficult for them to do it. We've just got to keep making sure that we work hard as we can to play. And in the forward areas, we're probably more blessed to change the team and the squad a little bit. Look, I think over the last 3 or 4 games, I'm trying to keep a little bit more settled team to help the boys as well, because some of them need a run of games in the team that haven't played as much. Look, we're going now. The biggest challenge for myself, I suppose for the players now, is if you look about the run of games we've had there, and obviously we've got coming. It becomes a lot harder for us knowing, Larne chasing a European place, and we really have nothing to chase, only pride now. So sometimes it tires you a little bit more because you've nothing to really push you on for 15, 20 minutes at the end of a game. And obviously that's what I'm there, to try and drive them on, and we've got to kind of look at boys and know that they've got to do it for themselves, rather than anything else. And they get no forgiveness from, I suppose. We're harsh, aren't we, with them, and we know that they're working and they're training and playing as well, and the pace of the games are going up and up because we're playing against another full-time team who, I suppose our boys have had a couple of days off work as well, but played Glentoran Saturday, and you can see, because it does help being able to just recover and work on your shape constantly in training.
No problem. Well, thank you very much, Matthew, for joining us. I'm going to let you go and get yourself sorted for the game.
Have a cup of tea.
Listen, we're going to be back in a few moments, so thanks for being with us, and if you want to just take a break for a moment, and we'll be back soon. Thank you.
Welcome back to Matchday Live here at Shamrock Park. I'm joined by Joel Neill from the Larne FC media team. Joel, welcome to Shamrock Park.
Good to see you again, Beach. You're a lot less scary when you're not trying to kill me on an American football field, but those are stories for another day, mate.
Definitely. Looking forward to the game here at Shamrock Park?
Yeah, very much. I think we're under no illusion that Shamrock Park's a difficult place to come for a result. It's not hyperbole to say that. Lots of great battles between these two sides from the Championship right up to now, and you only have to look as far as the last fixture between the two to see a harder draw for Portadown at Ember Park.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a game where really Portadown had to step back a lot of it and soak up a lot of pressure, but done well at the end to try to nick that draw, and to be fair, almost got the win as well.
That's it, 100%. And as the season goes on, the style of football Larne have implemented this season, it's very patient, it's playing out from the back, it's playing your channels, cutting the pitch into thirds. But as the season goes on, teams begin to get a read on that and begin to kind of figure it out. And I think you began to see that with Portadown the last time that they were down at Ember. So the big test for this back half of the season is our ability to improvise and try different things, especially on a different playing surface tonight.
Coming in this game, you've beat Carrick a couple of times in the last month or so. Can you tell us how you do it? Because our team sort of just can never beat Carrick. What is the secret?
I don't need to tell you about the magic of the derby, mate. Whenever it's derby night, the East Antrim derby is no matter where any team is in the league, it's a special night. So I think there's always a bit of a glint in the eye of the boys when they take the pitch.
Yeah. You come into the game sort of in up and down form. You win one, then you go and you can't win the next one. Consistency is really the key for Larne at the minute.
100%. I think if you look at our recent form, the thing that's maybe killing us in that middle of the table is the draws that we're picking up. Draws that probably should be wins, and that's not to take away from Portadown's performance the last time they were at Inver Park. But if you ask Tiernan and you ask the players, it's the ability to throw the game on your back in the last 10 minutes and go and find a winner. That's been missing from the first half of the season up to about Christmas.
Absolutely. Can we tease you into prediction?
I mean, there's a lot of work here. I see Fiat Soule's back, but he's starting on the bench. He's a critical part of our side. There's goal scoring up and down that Portadown side. I think Bonus is playing tonight.
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to give it a narrow 2-1 win for Larne, but it'll be hard work and we're going to have to properly work for it.
I appreciate you coming and have a chat with us.
Good to see you, mate. Thank you.
Man. All the best. We'll be back in a few minutes here with Mark Carson, who's co-commentator, ex-Portadown player. We'll have a chat with him here for a few minutes, but stay with us and we'll be back soon.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Matchday Live ahead of this evening's Danske Bank Premiership game against Larne. We're joined here by a familiar face of Portadown supporters, former Portadown defender Mark Carson. He'll be on co-commentary tonight with Mark Beattie on the live stream of the match, which is available on 247.tv at a price of £7. Welcome along, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
How do you see this evening's game going?
I'm looking forward to it. Suppose it's hard to really know. Larne sometimes I think can be different, not at their own pitch on the 3G, and Portadown as well sometimes can be very different at home at Shamrock, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it'll be a tight game and maybe somebody will nick it either way later on.
Hopefully the Portadown player that nicks it.
Absolutely.
Nicks it later on. As somebody who's played Premiership football this season, is there anybody in the Portadown team that's stuck out to you?
I suppose the big one and the obvious one's been Lee Bonus. You know, he's been the talk of a lot of people and a lot of different clubs, a lot of fans that have followed. He's took to the league really well, scored big goals for Portadown, important goals. So I suppose he's probably the key one that certainly Larne will be keeping an eye on this evening.
Yeah, obviously this week Portadown announced new 5-year contracts for both Lee and Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson's somebody that you played with here at the club during your time. Lee or Luke broke into the team sort of in and around, I think it was 2016, 2017 time here.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts of playing with Luke and how he's progressed?
No, absolutely delighted for him to get a 5-year deal, and a well-deserved one by all accounts. He's always been a quiet fella, but he's went about his business really well. He's worked hard, he's made tackles, and he's done things that way, as opposed to maybe other captains that you hear maybe very loud and very vocal. Luke's maybe the other type where he'll lead by his performance, he'll work hard and he'll get among people, and maybe when you're needing something in that game, he'll be the one that comes up with it. So very deserving, and I suppose Tippy would have always knew that about him and Lee, that they're very important players to this Portadown team, and very important to the fans too. I know they appreciate them. So it's a good week all round for Portadown at this stage.
Yeah, can I get a prediction out of you?
I'll go 2-1 Portadown.
Great prediction, Mark. Well, Mark, we're going to let you go there and get prepared for your co-commentary. We're going to take a short break. As I was saying there just before, Mark is on co-commentary this evening with Mark Beattie on the We Reports live stream of the match, available on 247.tv at a price of £7. We're going to take a break here for a few moments, and we'll be back again then to continue previewing tonight's Danske Bank Premiership game between Portadown and Larne.
Welcome back to Matchday Live here at Shamrock Park. As Portadown welcome Larne to in the Danske Bank Premiership. We'll talk about the game tonight then, so the storylines of the game. Probably the storyline of the last few weeks for Portadown side has been the defence and trying to get defenders on the pitch. But it seems everybody's sort of having niggles, and it's probably the Saturday Tuesday games, the whole run of them, is sort of affecting the whole defence with Miss Carney on Saturday. And although, to be fair, Buchanan didn't really do much wrong on his debut, but you miss his commanding of the area and stuff. And then you had Adam McCallum fall away in the warm up and stuff. But we'll have Paul Finnegan back, so that should make a big difference to us at the back.
Yeah, as you say, I had said to Matthew in our interview a few moments ago about the injuries to the Portadown defence this season. I've never known anything like it for one section of the team to suffer so many injuries. But I suppose as circumstances, listen, these guys are playing games Saturday, Tuesday. Yeah. They've been doing it since October. You know, it's a hard workload, and you are to expect injuries. It's just ironic that it's just one section of the team that we seem to be suffering most from. You know. We get Paul Finnegan back, but you lose Adam McCallum. You know, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul at the moment with the defence. Yeah, and unfortunately with Ben Tilney being on loan from Larne, he can't play this evening as well. So that's another big miss. Eamon Scannell also injured as well. So we'll maybe expect Nathan Kerr to go to the left back. Well, Matthew had indicated in his interview here that Greg Hall will play left back tonight, with Nathan Kerr sticking in right back. I've been impressed with Nathan. He's somebody that came in the summer and hasn't really had a run in the team until lately, and I think he's stepped in and hasn't put a foot wrong. I think he's done a great job, because he's coming into unsettled defence, and he's not playing with the same guys all the time at the moment. He's not even playing with somebody that's in front of him all the time at the moment at the right wing slot, with so many changes and injuries and things like that. I think he hasn't put a foot wrong, but I think the defence has done well. I was sort of saying again to Matthew during our interview, when you look back at the highlights against Glentoran on Saturday, I didn't think the defence done a lot wrong. Glentoran scored 2 great goal of the season contender goals. And their other 2 goals were scrappy enough, but I don't think you could lay it at the door really of the defence as a whole. Yeah. So I think, you know, those players that have come in and covered, you know, have to be commended, especially Adam McCallum. We have to remember that he wasn't first choice centre half really at the start of the season. It was Paddy McNally and Paul Finnegan, but Adam's come in and stepped in and been exceptional. He's won the We Reports Player of the Month again there for March, his second time winning it this season. So I'm sure Matthew will be keen to get him back in. Absolutely. Talk about the visitors in Larne. They're sort of
they started off so well. They were sitting on top over Christmas and stuff, but they sort of tailed off a wee bit ever since. They're trying to hang on to the coattails of the likes of Linfield and the big boys up there, and they're sitting in fourth at the minute, but it's anybody's game up at the top of that league. Linfield are pulling away a wee touch, but they're still within striking distance of Larne. Larne seem to just need to get that consistency now. They seem to win one, then draw one, win one, lose one. They're not really finding any consistency there. But we all know the big names they have. We know the David McDade, Marty Donnelly always seems to do well against us. Tomas Cosgrove as well there. So they have them big players. They're going to be a really tough team to beat tonight.
Yeah, I was looking back. They've only won 2 games in their last 5 Premiership games, and I think they were both against Carrick Rangers. I know I think they lost to Coleraine, and there was a draw against Glenavon in there as well. But I think we always have to remember how far Larne have come in such a short space of time. You know, it's only 2-3 years ago they were a championship team. So to be, where they are in that short space of time is still commendable. I know people will talk about the money and the big players that Larne have, and they have to be competing for European football without that outlay aside, which I suppose is true as well. I think a title challenge too, sometimes it can come down to experience. Looking at that Larne team, Marty Donnelly, I believe, has won a title with Cliftonville, possibly Crusaders as well. He maybe was part of a league-winning team, and maybe Davy McDade with Cliftonville as well. But there's not a lot of players in that team that have experience of title challenges in Irish League football. It might be a case of getting that experience over a season or two of being up there and battling before they do win the big one.
And when you come into the tail end of the season like you are now, that sort of experience does tell.
Yes,
absolutely. How do Portadown get a result here tonight? What players does it take? Who's going to be the one that wins the game or draws the game for Portadown?
I feel sometimes that I'm saying the same player every week, but I think if Lee Bonus is at his best, he's a handful for any defence. I think maybe Albert Watson is starting at the back for Larne. Looking at that Larne defence, I'm not sure if there's a big pile of pace within it. Somebody that like Lee can exploit that. I think Larne's a great team. Every Portadown player will have to be on their A game tonight. Absolutely. To get anything from this. But they're more than capable of doing it. We went up to Inver Park and got a 2-2 draw earlier on in the season. There's no reason we can't. We're more than capable, and no reason why we can't get something out of this game tonight. But I think every player will have to be on their game, their A game, and maybe something special and something from Lee Bonus harassing that Larne defence.
I certainly hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we'll sort of leave it there. Guys, as we said before, get on 247.tv/NIPrem and purchase your stream for the night. It's going to be myself on commentary alongside Export Mark Carson. Like and subscribe to our YouTube page. You can follow a match on Twitter and on Facebook as well. But listen, join us. Hopefully Portadown can come out of this with a result. Hopefully they can maybe scrap something from a rampant Larne team. So thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, and here's to Port's victory. Fingers crossed.